Hey guys, it's JP Invests, and today we're going to be talking about SoFi and why I'm bullish on SoFi and what proponents are helping them grow and what's going to help them get to the price that I think they're going to get to in about a year or two. So getting started, hopping right in, the price target for me is about $14 to $20. I'm not exactly sure yet, but that's between a year and 2 years away. Once interest rates start settling a little bit and there's not as much fears of them going up, I believe SoFi will start settling. And if the recession fears start stopping, also, that's going to help the stock out a lot because a lot of the recent fears have been due to higher delinquencies on loans, and people are scared that SoFi is going to be one of the banks that have higher delinquencies just because of their newness and lack of history with underwriting. But I really believe that they have higher quality underwriting with Noto, and they also have the higher credit score, lower limits, or like hoops to jump through for credit scores. So the people that are higher risk are lower credit scores, so they shouldn't even be loaning to people that are higher risk. So hopefully they won't be affected if there is even a recession. But looking at the price, it's at $7.50. Looking at my holdings, I have 315 shares, average cost of $7.01. That makes me up 8%. So looking at the 1 year, it is up 28%. Looking at the 5 year, which they're not going to have a 5 year because they IPO'd in 2020, but looking at their old price, the high that they hit was $25.14, and like the low was about $4, and they've been trading down here for a long time. And Noto was buying the crap out of the shares down here, and then we hit a bit of a spike with the whole market rallying last summer, and they peaked. I think it hit about $10 down here or up here. And then we had a bit of a pullback with the whole market. And recently there's been some fears with recessions in the future with more delinquencies, like I was saying. But I don't really think those are going to be valid arguments. So hopping into their financials, looking at their quarterly growth of revenue, they have really good revenue growth every quarter. They have 26.42%. Looking like what that Palantir, like I was talking about, they kind of want that 30%. They're really shooting close for that, about 30%. They're shooting 26.42, which is really, really good. They are still not profitable, but they're looking to be profitable in Q4 of this year, if not that, Q1 of 2025. And I really think that they're going to be able to do that if they just hold back on some of their advertising expenses with expanding them. They do have two big advertising expenses. They have SoFi Stadium, which is where the Chargers play, and then they also have this new golf stadium, which is going to be out in the future. They just sponsored that, which is going to be another advertising expense for them. Some things that make me very, very bullish is this 26.42% growth rate. So once they do become profitable, they're going to be able to outgrow all the other expenses that come their way. They also are growing in a very hard market. Most other banks are losing deposits and they're losing customers, not SoFi. Looking at their balance sheet to look at their assets, liabilities, not too bad. They have $22 billion of liabilities. Looking at all of this. Okay, hopping into the quarterly growth. Last quarter, they had a record new members of 717,000 new members. That hops over the last quarter, which had new members of 584,000, which is insane. They now have 6.9 million members. 6.9 million members. And this is a 47% increase. And they just keep growing and growing on top of these increases. That is insane. All other banks are really struggling for members right now, and SoFi is just expanding. And their cost of membership is quite a bit lower than these other banks just because of their limited infrastructure, and all they have is staff and admin to pay. They also do have a lot of promotional things to get the customers in, like a $250 bonus for signups and stuff like that to try. I think there's a bonus for hooking up your direct deposit and some stuff like that, which does make sense just to get people to cross-sell into some of their other products like investing and loans and other things like that, banking, and there's just a large gambit. But overall, SoFi at $7.50 is a great opportunity, and I really think there's going to be opportunities when it pulls back for you to average down your costs for $6.75. I would not wait to see $6.75 because there's a chance that it doesn't go back down there with these crazy growth rates. If we have a little bit of a bull market and the price comes up, and then say we do have market that starts pulling back, but SoFi becomes profitable and they keep growing. And Galileo, which was another thing that I didn't even mention, which is a little software banking. So Robinhood is on top of Galileo, which is just a platform, and it runs the back end transactions and stuff like that, which is another big proponent for high growth. Overall, I think SoFi has great potential in the future for great growth, for price predictions of $14 to $20, which is just over a double if it's 14. And if we hit 20, it's just going to be over or a little bit under a triple, which is magnificent. I also have a contract of options out, a long call, which is a little bit more risky. As you can see, I'm down a little bit just because the price did pull back recently and it hasn't popped back yet. So we'll hopefully see that come back once the price comes back into the 850s and a bit around there. If we look at the other analysts' predictions, they are 1450 about year, and they just say this because there's a unique economic moat for them, just because they have this lower infrastructure costs, which allows them to have higher interest rates than some of the other banks, which is allowing them to get more members and keep growing when all these other banks are struggling. So this has been my breakdown of SoFi. I hope you guys have enjoyed. And this has been JP Invests. I hope you guys like and subscribe and make sure to comment down below. If you guys have any questions or stock ideas for me, or just want me to look at some stuff and give you guys my ideas, I'm more than welcome. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.